Hi, I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of Our Take on Cruise with Roger and Shannon.
Or Shannon and Roger. My name is Shannon McKee of Access Cruise, and with me,
Roger Blum with Cruise and Port Advisors. And we're kind of melancholy today.
We are melancholy today. That's why we're all black.
It is appropriate. You know, last year when we discussed the war in the Ukraine, it was really hard to come up with words because the atrocities and what was going on was just so hard to imagine. Plus, we had friends in both areas, and you kind of hope that that's the end of it, and it's amazing that that's still going on. But then we've had other natural disasters that have happened also. Just a couple months ago, we were talking about Lahaina, and you were talking about it again in last week's broadcast. Yeah. And now, of course, the world is all watching Israel with the atrocities that just took place there.
Yeah, this is a really difficult time for so many people, and our hearts go out to the people of Israel and the civilians that have been harmed, and all the people, because I think Israel, as it was explained to me, is such a small country. Everybody knows somebody that has somehow been affected by this atrocity that has happened in Israel and this attack. And you know, our hearts go out to everyone there, all the civilians, all those, because I think the people want peace. Everybody wants peace. And so, you know, we're sending blessings your way, and whatever we can do. I've already let them know we've been working with Haifa Port since 2016. We have definitely seen our fair share of ups and downs, but nothing of this magnitude. So, you know, when it comes to the cruise industry, as we say, the cruise industry is resilient and they have movable assets. And that is exactly what has happened. We had the last ship, the Rhapsody of the Seas, disembarked their guests just a few days ago. She will not be returning. The ships and the season for Israel are obviously completed at this point in time. As Zohar from the Haifa port explained to me, you know, the Israelis as well, you know, they're not in any state of mind to be taking vacation, so even their local cruise line at this point in time will cease operations. You know, it's going to affect the entire region without Israel and those port calls. And you know, all we can do is hope that this situation is resolved quickly. That's not the news we're hearing right now, but we can still hope and pray for a quick resolution so that we can return to the beautiful country of Israel. I was there this summer. I know your children were there just recently, and it's so magnificent.
It really is, and it's sad because obviously there's the loss of life, there's the suffering, there's the hostages, there's so many things we're watching. But for the average people, and we're lucky that we're in a fun business, and the people we deal with, whether it's in Russian ports, Israeli ports, wherever, they're the type of people that love welcoming people to their homes, welcoming people to their communities. They're proud of their communities. They love sharing this with people. And of course, it's their livelihoods too. But at this point, livelihoods are kind of pushed aside. First, it's saving lives. But I'm looking forward to one day when things will be settled, or at least more peaceful in the Middle East. One day when we can cruise back to St. Petersburg. Things like that, it's really sad. And by the way, you know, I was talking about our industry being fun, and both of us spent a lot of our time on board ships. So for those of you who have cruised, you've probably heard at the end of the cruise director talks about we've got 20, 30, 40, 50 nationalities on board the ship, and how well everybody gets along. And that means no matter what their heritage is, whatever their culture, we were talking about it last year about Russians and Ukrainians working together side by side on ships. And I think one of the secrets of why things work on a ship like that is people are more focused on their common goals as far as their differences. And if we really look at it, in humanity, there's more commonality as far as what we want. The mothers who are losing kids in the Gaza or in Israel are as brokenhearted as each other. You can't say that one life is more valuable. But on the ship, you focus on the common goals, getting the job done, working together. And we've heard cruise directors say this. I don't know if this is part of your rap as a cruise director, but if the world could live together like the crew on a cruise ship, we'd be in a different world today.
I totally agree. So again, we're sorry that this is such a somber episode. Our hearts are going out to those that have been affected by this horrific catastrophe and devastating attack that has happened. We know that the people are resilient. We know that we're hoping for a speedy resolution to this, and Israel will be back one day on the itineraries with the cruise ships, and they'll be welcoming guests back to the nation.
So wherever you are in the world, stay safe, and remember, love is more important.
Yes.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.